Hey everybody, this is Jason out in Colorado. Today we're going to be working on a split stick figure 4. Now there's 3 basic components to the split stick figure 4. You got your upright support. You're going to split this in half. Your trigger stick, and then of course your deadfall, a big flat rock or a log or whatever you're going to use. First thing we're going to do is we're going to process this upright. What we're going to do is we're going to baton it, split it in half, and then we'll use those 2 separate pieces. Obviously I've already gone out and cut a piece. So you want this long and straight, and you can change the size of your trap depending on how long you cut this piece. So right now I'm going to go ahead and baton this in half, and then we'll get to work on these. Alright, so we got 2 separate pieces. Now you do want this piece to be pretty solid, because it's going to carry a lot of the weight of the deadfall, so you don't want it to bend. So we're going to see how these pieces work, and if they don't, then we'll go gather another stick. But for this first piece, we'll make this one the upright. Now on the upright, you're going to want flat on the bottom, and then you're going to want an angle on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and work this and cut that angle off. Be like a 45. You want it as flat as possible because the top piece is going to rest up on top of it. And you can use your knife or you can use your axe to cut this, whatever way you prefer. Sometimes the axe is faster. Today I'm just going to use my knife. Alright, so here's the first piece. It's going to sit on the ground, just like this. Again, you want the flat on the bottom, and then you got this angle on the top. Next piece is going to sit up on top of it, like this. So you're going to need an angle here, and an angle here, and then a number 7 notch in here where it hooks up. So I'm going to go ahead and start processing that. Now the figure 4 is a directional trap, which means that the animal is going to come in from one certain direction and push on the trigger from one certain direction for it to work properly. Now we're going to set this up so that it's going to actually have 2 directions, and then any other direction that we don't want them to come in at, we're going to funnel them into the trap. So we're going to block it so that there's only one way in and one way out of this trap. That'll give you a better chance of catching dinner. Alright, so we got a 45 on this side. Now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side and cut it down this way. As you can see here, we got a 45 here and a 45 here. Now on one of these sides, this is going to sit on here just like this. Flat side of this is going to face this way. And up here we're going to cut in a number 7 notch. And it looks like a number 7 when we're done with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a saw to cut this in right about here, just to make the first notch on this. Because of this notch is why you want this piece of wood to be pretty sturdy, because you're cutting into the structure of it here. You don't need to cut much in here, just enough for this piece to catch on that other one. So there's our number 7 notch, just like that. And this is going to sit on there just like that. So see, it catches on there. And then your deadfall, your weight, is going to sit up on top like that. Now next is your trigger. Your trigger stick is going to sit on here just like this. Now you can see it's starting to look like a number 4. Now on the back side right here, we're going to cut another number 7 notch right here where it hooks up on there so it catches. And then we're going to do another number 7 notch on this trigger stick right here on the side. So first off, we're going to cut a number 7 notch on this top of this trigger. Again, I'm going to use a saw You just saw, and you see I cut right here down just a short distance. And I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to cut out the rest of that notch. Let's see if you can see it here. Alright. So again, this notch you see is going to come and hook right on the back edge of that. Now we need to do another number 7 notch right here where my thumb is on the side. So this one's on the top, this one's going to be on the back side. Before you make this cut, make sure you measure exactly where you want it to make that cut. So right about here I'm going to put a notch on the side. Alright, so we got a number 7 notch on the back edge, number 7 notch on the front edge, so it hooks right here. That way when you put the pressure on the top, it binds up. Alright, so this is what the figure 4 is going to look like. Your bait is going to go on the end here. And what I mentioned it being a directional trap earlier. What I mean is that the animal's got to come in from this side and push on this way on this trigger for it to spring free. If they come in and push on this way, it's not going to do anything. They could push down, but it's going to have to slide that entire distance of this piece of wood before it'll break free. So what we're going to do is from where it meets right here on this edge right here, we're going to take and round that off. That makes it so if they push this way, it's going to spring free, and if they push down, it's going to slip off of here and it's going to spring free. So I'm going to mark this right here, and from that point down on this edge, I'm going to round that off. So as you can see here, I'm going to take this edge. Here's my mark. Now all I'm going to do is take this edge off. Not much to it. Just going to round that out. Now as you can see, it's just slightly more narrow here than it is up here. So when this piece is sitting on there, as soon as it slides to this rounded edge, it's going to break free. Alright, so I chose this location for the deadfall because we've got a water source behind us and there's a little bit of a game trail here. So my hopes are that animals will come down here to get their water. They'll have to pass by here, and if I have bait on here, they're going to be curious. So you can see the trigger stick is too long, so we're going to cut this trigger stick down also. Okay, as you can see, it's set up. You can put the bait right here. You can whittle this stick down to a point if you want to, and you push it on the end. That means that that animal's going to have to push and pull the tug to get that bait off. But when they get on there, they come through and they're going to hit it, and that's going to fall down. I'm not going to trigger it right now. I'm going to go ahead and build up the sides of this with some debris because we want the animal to come in this direction. So put some sticks on here. Now when we're building this up, you're careful not to put your hands up underneath there. You also want to make sure that when this falls, anything that you put up on here is not going to keep it from falling properly, because it needs to fall on the ground flat in order to catch your prey. Alright, I won't spend too much more time setting up the funnel on this. As you can see, we want the animal to come in through this direction and push on that trigger with the bait on it to trigger this trap. So they're just going to come through and push on that, and that's it. That's your split stick figure 4. Thanks for watching. Remember, prepare to survive.